Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning, and welcome back to the Midwest Building Decarbonization Coalition Meet the Board podcast. So, I know this is different for a lot of nonprofits, but we want to definitely sit back and highlight our board members who have been essentially doing this work and making sure that the organization stays afloat and make sure that we're doing our job and staying diligent with the work that we do. And so today we have our board president, Sheila Curry-Campbell, who is with us today, who I'll be talking to. And so for those who don't know me, I'm Marnice Jackson, and I am the executive director at the Midwest Building Decarbonization Coalition. It is an 8-state regional coalition in the states of Illinois, Iowa, Indiana, Missouri, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Michigan, Ohio, and we're here to eliminate fossil fuels in buildings. That's that yucky stuff that pollutes our indoor air quality, and to make sure that we do this in an equitable way. And so we emphasize operating by the HMAS principles for democratic organizing, the climate justice principles, and centering around the people who've been impacted by high energy burden. Yes, that means your high utility rates, that's poor indoor air quality, that means gas, the stuff that we pump into our cars, gas. Or if you have a gas stove, all that yucky stuff has been impacting communities, low income, marginalized communities. And we want to make sure that we continue to advance equitable policies in a just way and to eliminate the high energy burden and environmental racism. So joining me today is a pioneer in the environmental and climate movement in Indiana, and Sheila Curry-Campbell is a dedicated communicated leader and activist known for her significant contributions to environmental justice, social equity, and community development. As past chair of the Allen County Democratic Party, ensuring diversity, equity, and inclusion, Sheila is the program director and resource manager at Pilgrim's Progress Community Development Corporation. She spearheads sustainability and resilience initiatives. As president of the Midwest Building Decarbonization Coalition Board of Directors, Sheila leads efforts in clean energy options, adoption, including electric vehicles, and building decarbonization. As a lifelong resident of Fort Wayne, Indiana, and an active member of the Pilgrim Baptist Church for over 50 years, Sheila's service spans education, civil rights, health, and advocacy, environmental advocacy. Her leadership roles include past First District County Councilwoman, past worthy matron of the Order of Eastern Star, and the past NAACP Fort Wayne Allen County Branch President. Ooh, that's a lot. And recognized nationally and locally for her leadership, Sheila's work extends to youth advocacy, domestic violence prevention, and contributions to Health Vision's Midwest Urban League, American Legion Auxiliary, the American Red Cross, and the American Heart Association. She remains a powerful advocate for justice, committed to uplifting her community through dedicated service and positive change. So we welcome Sheila. And once again, thank you so much for being a part of the board of directors. So Sheila, is there anything else you want us to know? Because I read a lot. And, hey, look, we have to do that because if we don't celebrate ourselves, people won't celebrate us. So Sheila, I'm glad you gave me your bio. I'm glad I was able to uplift it. Tell me more.
Wow, tell you more. It's kind of embarrassing when you actually hear it out loud. I'm just a willing worker here to serve my community, to fill the gap in places, being the voice of those that don't have a voice. And so I'm just a willing worker, Marnice.
And there's nothing wrong with that. That's usually how we get into a lot of these different positions. We end up just landing into these positions because we care, right?
Mhm.
And Sheila was one of the first individuals who I called on when I became the director of equity and engagement back in 2020 here at the Midwest Building Decarb Coalition. I'm like, Sheila, they want to bring equity voices, and I can laugh about it now, to the coalition. And I was like, well, let me call my fellow NAACPers because we, of course, was doing the environmental and climate justice, across the Midwest. And Sheila was the one of the first people I called. Like, Sheila, you want to be a part of this coalition? We trying to do this thing. And so, what made you want to come and be a part of it? When I say equity voices, right? It sounds tokenizing, right?
Hey, we've been in this space doing this work as volunteers for a long time, and just the people that we have met along this way that care. And so this was in my lane. I try to stay in my lane of things, wraparound services that in organizations that I'm involved in. And so it was definitely a match at that time, and it's a match today.
Thank you, Sheila. And then, so with that, you've been here from the beginning. Your organization that you're part of have helped develop the empowerment grant program, our re-granting program. And for those who don't know what that means, we re-grant out to communities who may not be able to do this work, right? And Sheila and other coalition members help develop the regrading program, the process, and the different procedures. But Sheila, you came from that to being a member to a board member. Why did you want to be a board member?
Like you said, I've been here from the beginning, and I just felt that it was important for me to be at the table. They always say if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. And so um, just to see this through, I have 2 more years. I was just reelected to serve on the board, um, to serve as the board president. And so I'm excited for the next 2 years and the years to come.
Thank you, Sheila. And being reelected to the board. So, for those who may not know about boards and how they contribute to an organization, can you give someone an overview on what does that mean? For like, because some people may seem like board of directors are so far away, and for some organizations, it is right.
Mhm.
That you don't actually meet board members or you just can't talk to them. What does that mean, for you? And how would somebody get on a board of directors?
You know, um, a lot of times we don't ask to be on boards or we don't inquire about being on boards. Um, Here at the Midwest, we have been intentional. We've actually put out a request for board members across the 8 state region. And so serving on the board is not just in name only. We have monthly meetings, we have subcommittees, they have additional meetings. We are very intentional by making sure that everyone has a place at the table. And so we are in our year 2. And so we have a lot of great things. We're counting on Marnice as our leader and the great staff that she has put together to take us to the next level.
Well, thank you, Sheila. And so, what does that mean, right? You're the board president, a Black woman of a organization that would technically, you know, we had to kind of break in it, right, to do building the car work because it's a predominantly
White
white
male.
white male field, right? And here we go, right?
Here we
So
go.
so women, Black women, that is, protect Black women, but Black women are starting to really break into this field a lot. And so with that dynamic, with two Black women running a regional organization, right, what does that mean for our culture, for women in general, to be a part of an organization? What does accountability look like? Because from what I heard, it's hard for Black women to work together. So
I heard they say it. I heard they say it. You know, I heard they say it, but I came up underneath Jackie Patterson.
see.
And so Jackie Patterson is still out here doing the work, a powerful Black woman,
Mhm.
a great example of what environmental justice look like. So the education and the training through the NAACP and Jackie Patterson, shout out to Jackie. I bust my way into this space. A lot of times I'm the only female, the only Black. So it's a space that I feel comfortable in after 5 years and some change being in this space.
Right. And, of course, Jackie was my boss at one time too, because I was there at the NAACP, and the dynamics of, Black women being in this space. I just remember, we have to, take points from, Shirley Chisholm to just break in the room and bring the chair, right? Like, we have to do that. And, for me, I'm like, I'm gonna always call Sheila or Paula or even a Leslie to just say, hey, am I doing this right? Just to check in, because if I don't, right, I'm representing for, a lot of Black women who trying to break into this space. So I'm gonna always check in with, of course, board members who are, who have history, right? Because I look at you all like my aunties, like, okay, am I doing this correct? I don't
Oh,
want to mess.
I'm a certified auntie. How about that?
like,
I'm a certified auntie. Yes, ma'am.
like, yes, you are my boss, but it's like, look, I don't want to make us look bad, so I'm gonna really always check in just to make sure I'm doing, things correctly. And I think that whole false narrative, I mean, and it is true to a certain extent that Black women sometimes clash, but I think that's just a thing. People may not just clash with each other, but I'm like, well, I don't really have that problem with Sheila. I'm gonna check in. Sheila gonna tell me, she gonna be direct about it, and that's my communication style. That's, I'm like, okay, Sheila, okay. And I can communicate with Sheila, like, Sheila, wait a minute, hold on.
Yeah, I love the check and balances. I mean, the working relationship that we have. I mean, yes, I am your boss, but you are someone that I respect in this space, someone that I know have results. We are results driven, and we have fun along the way. And so you make this a very comfortable space. You make it a working board where we're able to engage and be a part of. And so I do appreciate that.
I appreciate that too, Sheila. Hey, um, and just for that, I want to know, like, what is one thing some people may not know board of directors do? You mentioned the working board, and I know we may shift to you to the board being some other type of board, because I know you all are worker bees and you guys care about the mission. But what do you think some people don't know about board of directors outside managing my needs, making sure that we don't fall under, financially, you know.
Well, being good stewards, we need to be good stewards of our finances. We need to have playing a role in helping to raise funds, solicit funds. We also play a role in building relationships. We're 8 states, so it's not like we're all in one city and able to meet. And so, organizing, using social media, um, those type of things are a big part of our communication and making sure that we're sharing the information. Um, we have all taken on that responsibility of give it or get it. And so being financially responsible to the board, to the mission of the Midwest B is another role that we also play.
Ooh,
Oh, we
ooh,
give
yeah.
it or get it,
Some boards,
period.
some boards, you do have to pay to play sometimes, and we just move into that because, Funder wants to see if you're contributing to the organization. And, we try to make sure that it's equitable because, it's rough out here. And shout out to, of course, our development director Eddie for working just to make sure that we all can contribute it in some type of capacity, because I have contributed to other boards as well. But I also have benefited. Sometimes some boards will pay for you to go to trips so you can represent the organization. So I think it's kind of like a give and take type of thing that people just don't understand. That's what you do. But then also time equity. You all have spent a lot of time developing, and structuring the coalition before it even became a thing. So it's kind of like we're rewarding you for your contributions, for just sitting on these meetings, because you guys all do have a day job. So yeah, outside of your contributions to the coalition. But I wanted to know, so outside of all the work that you're doing, and we're here to eliminate the fossil fuels in buildings, right? This is a climate issue. Buildings are the biggest contributor to climate change between a lot of different countries. Okay, the Midwest. So
Yes.
that means all these different hurricanes, is because we're spending too much on fossil fuel production, right? We have these gas stoves. We're not switching over, and we're in a different, climate right now, politically, where we're gonna really have to strategize around how we do this work. But I wanted to know from where you sit, Sheila, because you've been involved for quite some time. What do you wish people knew about environmental, energy, and climate justice?
I hope they know that it involves them. Not
Hmm.
only does it involve them, their kids, their grandkids, their own unborn kids, and so um, we have to be accountable to the youth. And so creating a space where they're able to tell their own story and know that we were here trying to do something. And so I think just reaching one, teaching one,
Hmm.
making sure that people are at the table and knowing that they are accepted at the table. I mean, we practice that here. Everyone has a voice with them as principals. There's a place for everyone.
Yeah, and Sheila, Sheila about it, right? Sheila, we were going out to Sheila to do a lot of work. Well, not Sheila, Pilgrim Baptist Church, which she is the one of the fearless leaders there. And I have to say that Sheila is about doing the work. She brings the receipts, she brings her youth out to be engaged in the legislative process. And so she shows up and the youth show up there. So I want to applaud Sheila for all her hard work and dedication and bringing youth along, right? So what part of this though brings you joy and excitement?
Wow. I think we all measure success differently. And so excess is when the kids start talking like me, when the kids start quoting things that we just covered, when they're able to interpret what I'm trying to put down. I mean, we have lessons every week. We meet once a week. And so um, making sure that that glue stick.
Mhm.
Uh, so that's my measure of success.
I appreciate that. I definitely, but it's also a joy
Well,
because
there's got other measures of success. I got those too, attendance and surveys, things like that. But in my world, to make sure that I am being successful, that the message that I'm trying to get out to the community, not only do I meet with youth, but we have a coalition here of adults. We have 20 plus folks that come to our monthly meetings. Um, the city of Fort Wayne comes to those monthly meetings. We're in the process of the Solar for All. So we're just getting things together, getting our paperwork in order, and bringing folks to the table that has never been in this space and sharing the knowledge and making sure that they feel comfortable in asking questions and being a part of. So, yeah.
yeah, and it shows on your face, Sheila. That's the joy. You lit up when you actually really did light up when you start talking about the youth. So I'm glad
Mm.
the youth are bringing you joy, and you are really educating them about the world. And of course, I have witnessed the youth are really doing the work there in Fort Wayne. So outside of saving the world and the environment, Sheila, because I ask myself this all the time, like, like this is a lot. But outside of this, what are your passions? What are you just enjoy spending time doing?
Oh my gosh. I do a lot of reality TV.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah. Kendra G, if you haven't heard of her, Kendra G Media. She has a dating app for grown folks.
Dating app for old folks. Oh, okay.
Grown folks, yeah. So I spent a lot of time watching that, and I like coloring. I have
Color.
coloring books. I have all different kind of books, different pens, pencils, different instruments that I do my coloring with. And then I love my church. My office is here. I have a space here at the church. Um, I love my church. I was born and raised in the church, and I just love my church. Yeah.
Well, Sheila, you have a diverse range of things that you like to do. And I'm so glad that you are sticking to it while saving the world, saving the youth, and just being a pioneer in this movement. So I would like to say thank you so much for all your contributions, working in partnership with me. To make sure that I'm doing my job. And I have to say Sheila is um bet one of the better bosses that I have had. A lot of people can't say that though. I mean, I had another great boss, Brianna DeBose at EcoWorks. She's awesome too. Like the people that let you do your job. And
Let's do the work,
it's a lot of work. Like, look, Sheila, I got it. Don't worry.
just
And
do it. Yeah.
don't
I
worry.
trust you to leave. I mean, like I said, we've been in this space together for some time now.
Mhm.
And, funders want results.
Yeah.
That's what money is all about. We're
Yeah.
in a position where we don't have any federal dollars that anybody can hold up or snatch from us.
Mhm.
And so I thank you for being intentional and finding those funders and like minded people that care about the same things that we care about, electrifying buildings, educating folks, creating a whole new workforce. I mean, that's one of the things we're doing intentionally here in Fort Wayne is working with youth. Like you stated, we went down to the state house, we chartered a bus, went down there, took some young folks. They were able to see the process, talk to the folks that make the decisions. We did our homework. And so, reach one, teach one. 4 years from now, these young people will be voters.
Mhm.
They will be able to speak on their lived experience of what this is going to look like. Um, what 2 months in, I think we just had 60 days or something like that. I mean, I don't even think we're at the 90-day mark, but um, a lot of these things are going to be lived experiences 4 years from now when these folks go to vote.
Yes. And it's good that you are already guiding them to be a part of the process. That's the thing. Bring your kids, bring your youth to be a part of the process so they will know, regardless if they don't want to do politics or not, they'll know how to be engaged and that these the politicians aren't too far away from them. And that's the thing. Politicians come on very intimidating and we don't feel like they don't feel that we can actually talk to them. But yes, you can. And Sheila is embodying that leadership and showing that to her youth. But Sheila, I really appreciate your time and dedication and working in partnership. And thanks so much for approving my vacation time because I need a little break, little break. And I'm going to take my break now that we're getting off of this podcast. So everyone tune in to the Midwest BDC. Follow us at midwestdecarb.org. I'll be back Thursday though. I can't go away too long. Just can't. But
Enjoy. I mean, spring break is, I guess
yeah.
it's different everywhere, but everybody's going into that spring break mode. And so, yeah, enjoy. You deserve it. And yeah, just peace and greetings to you.
All right. Well, everyone have a wonderful day, and we'll see you all on the next podcast. And happy spring equinox. It's springtime, but it's not looking like that in Michigan. But hopefully, we'll get some more sunshine this week. Spring break, and I'll see you all in the next podcast. All right. Bye.
Bye.